Hey guys, here with Karl James doing another episode of Karl's Yu-Gi-Oh! Chat. This one I'm going to be talking about my own deck, Darkworld. Obviously it was released last week. Bought 3, played it in a tournament, went 4-1, done pretty good. I think only lost to TG because really he was a bit scabby and got everything he needed. But yeah, I made top 4 with it in the end and ended up losing to Agents, which over the last week we found out is a pretty hard matchup for Darkworld. So yeah, anyway, I'll take you through the cards in this deck. We start off with one Blackluster Soldier, Envoy of the Beginning. This guy, as most of you know, is a pretty boss card in any deck that can summon it. Since it's come back in the new ban list, I've played it in pretty much every deck I've built, because everything in it's a bit chaos. And in Darkworld I can summon it because of certain like monsters that are in this deck. Next up we have 3 Brow, Huntsman of Darkworld. This guy I found really useful at the weekend, obviously, because he lets me draw cards, and he combos pretty well with other spell cards in the deck. For example, the Field Spell, which obviously lets you discard a card to draw a card, and with this guy you're drawing 2 because of his own effect as well. Next up we have 2-Dimensional Alchemist. This guy at the weekend really helped me out, because I'd be removing stuff off my gates. Getting him late game was just like, oh, okay, I'm now going to get some more advantage off this. Because he'd die, I'd bring back something that I'd removed. For example, my Grapher or a Brow. I'd draw an extra 2 or I'd destroy a card. And it would just give me so much advantage. Plus he's a light, so he's a target for my Blackluster Soldier. Next up we have 2 Fabled Ravens. This guy I found out to be pretty key in the deck. He, because obviously he lets you discard stuff. So you discard stuff, you activate your Darkworld effects, and he gets bigger. Combos really well with things like gold and silver. Because you discard that, you bring back your gold or silver and use Synchro. Or you can make 2 level 5 exceeds if you discard enough. Next up we have 2 golds. This guy obviously is a 2-3 beater that comes back when he's discarded. So like I said, combos really well with Raven, because he allows you to make 8-star synchros, or if you discard 2 of them, make a rank 5 exceed. Otherwise he's just a bit of a pain for people to get around, especially when the field spell's there. Next up we have probably the boss card of Darkworld, 3 Grapher, Dragon of Darkworld. He's a 2/7 beater which becomes 3000 with the field spell. When he's discarded you destroy a card your opponent controls. And you can bounce the Darkworld you control to special summon him. And an added effect is, if he's discarded by an opponent's card effect, like all Darkworlds have, he allows you to look at an opponent's card. If it's a monster, you can special summon it. So he's pretty boss. There's not really a downside to him, really. Next up we have 3 Silver Warlord of Darkworld. This guy I prefer over gold just because he's got the ability to get around Starlight Road and he mucks up your opponent's hand, which is pretty important in this format. So that's why 3 of him are in there. Plus again he combos really well with Raven. Next up we have Triple Snow. This guy is the searcher of the deck. He's really, really good. He searches out any Darkworld card. So that's like even Darkworld Lightnings, the Gates of the Darkworld, any monster I need for the for that situation. He's just really, really good. And finally in the monsters we have 2 Tragodia. This guy worked quite well for me at the weekend. He, obviously I had quite a bit of hand advantage most of the weekend, so he was quite big. And also, if ever I had mirror match, I would discard a gold or a silver, take control of theirs, get back my gold or silver, then I could exceed. So this guy's just, he's pretty beast. That's the monsters right there. Spell cards are next. Start off with a Dark Hole. Dark Hole is a bit of a staple in almost any deck you play it in, really. Just clears the field if anything gets too much. Next up we have 3 Darkworld Lightning. This card was really good because it sort of helped me get going, if you will. Because I would discard a Brow or something, draw a card, then I'd play my Gates and draw some more cards. This guy just got me going, really. Or it combos with Grapher to destroy 2 cards. So, all good. Next up we have 2 Drag Down into the Graves. This card allows you to look at your opponent's hand. They see yours as well, but and then you each discard a card, and draw a card. So this guy combos really well with things like Mind Crush and whatnot, because you get to see your opponent's hand. And also, if you you can leave your opponent with a really hard choice, because they'd have to discard, I don't know, a gold or a brow or something. So they'd either have a 2/3/2/6 beater, or you draw 2 cards off this card. It worked pretty well. So that's 2 of them. Next up we have a Heavy Storm. Again, it's a bit of a staple in almost any deck you play it in, just for the pure fact that destroys all spell and trap cards. Obviously it's a bit risky with Starlight Road around, same as Darkworld, but found not many people are playing it main, so Heavy Storm is still a really good card, always has been. Next up we have Monster Reborn. Again, staple in almost any deck. Yeah, you bring back your gold, XD with your silver, synchro, bring back one of their monsters, bring back their BLS, bring back your BLS. It's all good, it's all good. Next up we have 2 Pot of Duality. This card was a bit of a nuisance at the weekend, but it also helped me a lot. Just for the fact that it let me set up for the next turn, or it, but also it like stopped me from special summoning for the turn, obviously, so I had to hold back on my silvers and stuff, which I could have had clogged in my hand and I wanted them gone. So it was good and bad this weekend, but still, it was a still pretty good card because it let me set up for the next couple turns. And the last 3 spell cards are a bit of an obvious one. The 3 Gates of Darkworld. This card is so good. It wins so many games in Darkworld. Just lets you draw cards. And with the Darkworld cards, it's always a plus, because you're always getting something out of them being discarded. It's just so good. I can't recommend it enough in a deck. I say you have to play 3. Right, that's the spells. Go on to the traps. Got 1 Deck Devastation Virus. Obviously, all the Dark Worlds like gold and that go up to 2,000 and higher, so this is a really good target. Lets you see your opponent's hand as well, so again combos well with Mind Crush, and just rapes things like Froggy Monarch and that. So that's that. This won me a game at the weekend. It won me my top 8 first round. Basically, I went Trap Dust Shoot. So I got pretty lucky because all he had in his hand was a Treeborn Frog with like spiritual water arts and enemy controllers and stuff. So I got pretty lucky with that. But then a couple turns later, I played this and got rid of the other 2 monsters in his hand, like that he managed to draw. So I kind of won that game with this card. Next up we have an Epidemic Virus. Again, it's like Deck Devastation Virus but for spells and traps. Its main targets are my gold, my silver, and my grapher, because with the split field spell, my gold and silver are 2 6s, so they're a target for this. Again, it lets me see my opponent's hand, so it was comboing really well with Mind Crush all day. Speaking of Mind Crush, here come 2 of them. 2 Mind Crush in this deck. In this deck, I can't recommend it enough, because the amount of times you see your opponent's hand, it's unbelievable, really. So that's Mind Crush, just more hand control in this deck. Now we have a Torrential Tribute. Again, it's a bit of a staple, one of the best trap cards in the game, I think. Yeah, clears your field, combos with Alchemist. If they're getting a big field, you can get something back as well. It's just, can be some pluses. It's all good with Torrential Tribute. And the final card in the deck is Trap Dust Shoot. Like I said, I won a game with this at the weekend. This won me quite a few games, actually. Just for the pure fact I get to put something back and see my opponent's hand again. So again, it's comboing with Mind Crush. Right, guys, that's the deck. That's 40 cards there. Like I said, it went 4 on 1. But what helped it was obviously the extra deck. So here comes Ally of Justice Catasta. This guy's in there because I can make it every now and then. Just beats up darks. It's all non-darks even. It's all good. I like this card. Ancient Fairy Dragon. Seeing as I'm playing field spells, I thought, well, I got to kind of play this, because what if I come up against a Gravekeeper deck or a mirror match? Then I can bring this guy out, destroy their Necro Valley or their gates, and gain 1,000 to get my own gates. So, got to kind of play it. It's a bit of a staple in this deck's extra deck. Black Rose. Again, this card's a bit of a staple. You blow up the field, start again. If things are getting a bit heavy, just get this guy out and start over again. Next up we have a Bryonic. Unlike Fable, this Darkworld's effects don't activate with this guy, obviously, because it's a cost, but it's a staple 6-star, and basically it's for going for game if you're clearing your opponent's field. Got a Colossal Fighter. I can make 8 stars quite easily in this deck, and I really like Colossal Fighter at the minute, just because of its coming back ability. It's a bit of an infinite defender, so that's why that's in there. Next up we have Orient Dragon. I really like this card at the minute because a lot of decks are doing a lot of synchro in, so this guy comes out and just gets rid of a tough to get synchro, so that's that. Scrap Dragon. I think this card's one of the best 8 stars around. He's a 2/8, so he's hard to get around as it is, and plus he destroys cards on the field, which with this deck isn't too much of a problem because you bring stuff back quite easily. So that's Scrap Dragon. Next up we have probably this deck's best friend, which is Stardust Dragon. Just because you don't really want your field spell card being destroyed, so you whack out a Stardust Dragon and your field spell card's pretty safe for a good few turns. That's all you really need to win. Fort Ruler Archfiend. I love this card. This is one of my favourite synchros around. He's just got me out of so many sticky situations in any deck I've played him in, just for the fact that he gains me life points. And the final synchro is Trishula. He's just boss, really. He's amazing. Just removes 3 cards. Why not play him? It's just too good not to. That's the synchros. Now we've got a couple of Exceeds here. We've got 2 Adrius, Keeper of Armageddon. Rank 5 Exceed. Really easy to make in this because of your golds and silvers. He came in handy a hell of a lot at the weekend. Just, for example, I played a reverse burn deck, first round. Or second round, it was one of the two, I can't remember quite. But he had a Gravity Bind on the field, and that was really annoying me because all my stuff was too high to get around it. So I brought this guy out, destroyed it, and then won the game. And obviously later in the day I played a Gravekeeper deck, and Necro Valley was kind of annoying me because I couldn't do anything with my graveyard, so this guy came out and blew up the Necro Valley, and I won the game. Got a Levier the Sea Dragon. Obviously with your brows and stuff you can make this guy, bring back your snows and stuff, bounce them back, get your graphers, discard your snows, more stuff. This guy's got a few infinite possibilities with this deck. Got a number 17 Leviathan Dragon. This guy's in there just because he becomes a 2/5 beater. He's at the minute he's in every extra deck I think, just if you can make rank 3s. And thrown in there is a rank 4 Utopia. I can obviously make this go with my Alchemist and stuff if I'm in a bit of a sticky situation and need to negate some attacks. But this guy's come in handy a couple times. He managed to negate a couple attacks and then go for the game. So that guy's in there. Hey guys, yeah, so that was the deck, 40 cards. Like I said, went 4-on-1 at the weekend. Yeah, made me top 4. Only lost to TG and Agents, so 2 pretty good decks. So yeah, I'll be playing it again this weekend. Made a few changes to it. Me and Vin have been worked on it for a few hours on Tuesday, so hopefully it will be an improvement to the deck. So yeah, subscribe below, and I'll catch you all next time with more Yu-Gi-Oh! See ya. What's